There we go.
Got me?
Yep, I got you.
Cool. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me, man.
Of course. Thanks for having me too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you were on before with my associate Kevin, and you guys
Okay.
went through quite a bit. You got a great story for the beginning of this band, and let me tell people that are tuning in who they have in front of them. This is Dino McCord from Red Voodoo, and a couple months back they released Bring It Rise Up, which did very well. Now they're just released their single Bring It Back, the title cut of an upcoming album that should be available pretty soon. We're going to talk about that. But tell me about how the band got started, because I really think it's really impactful to what you guys are trying to do as a classic rock, heavy rock band.
Thanks, man. And I'll tell you, it's not really your cookie cutter story of like some guys in high school in the same class. No, nothing like that. We didn't come from the same school or nothing. And really the whole band started when my dad took me to go see Sammy Hagar in South Lake Tahoe with him in the Circle. And ever since that day, I wanted to become a singer. So, I grew my hair out long and started singing 5150 and 0812 in the shower. And I really beefed up my chops. And then I went, I believe it was to a Y&T show, my second concert, Y&T.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you. You're how old at a Y&T show at this age?
Oh, man, I think I was 16 years old.
16 years old at a Y&T show. That's class, my friend. That is class. That's a class.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I loved it, man. As soon as Dave Meniketti was just wailing on I Believe in You, it was so killer. That song was great.
It's so good to hear somebody your age appreciate that music from that long ago. They've been around for years, and it's great to see that kids your age are digging it. So go ahead.
No worries. And so then I met a drummer there, Nick Peasley, drummer Red Voodoo, and we started talking about our love for Sammy Hagar and Van Halen, and then me and him started jamming on like One Way to Rock and Summer Nights and all these songs together. We're like, man, let's form a band together. So he brought down his friend that he knew from 4 or 5 years ago, David Lawler, guitar player. And he walked in that day, man, and I'll tell you, he played Eruption. Oh my gosh, it was crazy, man. And our whole minds were blown. And then we actually started to play shows. My dad filled in for bass guitar for a little bit because that's how he got me into music, and I'll talk more about that later. But we actually found the bass player, Andrew Edwards, on Craigslist of all places.
I mean, and then what did that Craigslist, because all you guys are the biggest Sammy Hagar fans. I thought I was the biggest Sammy Hagar fan.
Oh.
I am a huge Sammy Hagar fan from the very beginning. But all of you guys you're so into it, even the older stuff, which is great to see.
Oh, yeah.
What does an ad on Craigslist for a bass player of your type of band, what does that sound like? What did that say exactly?
Well, it was actually, it wasn't for a bass player. It was for a guitar player at first. Young guitar player looking to jam with committed musicians, right? And I was sitting there. I was like, all right, we got a guitar player that plays like that. Let's get a bass player. So he walked in, and my dad, he played bass back in the day, so he was kind of showing him the ropes of a bass guitar. But now he's a natural at it. Now he's, of course, with the guidance of Frank, total natural. So.
Wow, that's cool. That is a really cool story too.
Thanks, man.
I saw you guys on that Monsters of Rock stream.
Oh, cool. Thanks for tuning into that.
Absolutely. And thank you for playing that. It was extraordinary. I couldn't believe how tight. I knew you guys were good, and I knew, you had that desire to play real rock and roll and that classic rock, and you're passionate about it. But I tuned in and I thought, wow, these guys are super tight.
A lot of that.
Wow.
A lot of it was just during COVID, man. What are you supposed to do? You just practice. And then when Frank was like, oh, we're going to LA for a Monsters of Rock Cruise live stream, like, we were like super excited. And I think it was all that pent up energy and just that, just ready to go out there and play again that really just kick some ass up there. So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. And you played that show with JT Lux, who is also
Yes.
on Frank Hannon Productions.
Yep. Good
Uh,
friend of ours.
yeah, that's very cool, and he was fantastic as well. There's something in the water there, man, up in Sacramento. Well, I know there's something in the studio, and that's Frank Hannon. He's a
Right.
great dude. He knows what he's doing. He's taking you guys under his wing. Tell me a little bit about how you hooked up with Frank.
So how I hooked up with Frank, so Red Voodoo at this point in time, we were doing 4-hour shows playing covers of Van Halen and all these classic rock bands, right? Getting our chops up for a live show, So, and that was all on the NorCal scene. But we really sat down one day and said, okay, we're not going to make it in the music industry or, if we don't have original songs. And it's a good loop around to my dad. My dad worked with Frank 30 years ago. For only 2 days, Frank came in and produced him, and then grunge happened, and that kind of they were an 80s band, so when grunge happened, it kind of fell through. But my dad would always tell me the story about how Frank from Tesla, the big guitar god in Sacramento, came and helped them produce a little bit of their album. And so my dad never reached out to Frank, and this was all me. And I messaged him actually on Facebook during during high school in class. And I messaged him. Hey, Frank, my dad mentioned you back in the day and stuff. And just wrote a really big message about what Red Voodoo is trying to do, is to bring rock and roll back and want to get to the next level with our original music. And he responded. And I think, he was interested. He heard the band. He heard about us before from JT and some other friends here and there. And the following weekend, he said, hey, man, how about you sit in with me with the Frank Hannon band and sit in singing Getting Better. So, and this is my first time ever hearing the song, first time ever learning the song. I was at 2 a.m., like practicing. And I'll never forget, the day, we met at Frank's house before the show, and my dad rolls in, and it was so funny, man, because, this kind of shows that Frank didn't want to remember my dad or that band, because he was like, oh yeah, you were the buff drummer. Like Dad's like, no, I was the bass player, But the probably the most amazing part that's so surreal is when we sit down in the studio, right? And my jaw still dropped just looking at everything, and he starts playing the intro to Getting Better, and he tells me to sing it, and I sang it, and it was great. And later that night, made that connection, got on stage in front of these people and sang Getting Better at Frank, and one thing led to another, sent him Rise Up, and he really digged that. And from now on, now we're on to an album. So yeah, it's very thankful and very humbled. Very cool. Very cool.
That is very cool. And thank you, Frank Hannon, because I was talking to Austin Moe, who is also from your area, and with Frank, and he did much the same thing, contacted him, and Frank's a regular guy. He contacted, he got right back to him, and appreciates your talent, and he's cultivating that, and that's pretty great, man. Yeah. Tell me where you are in getting that album ready. I know, Rise Up is doing well still. Right. Bring It Back is doing really well. Everybody appreciates this stuff, and you had that live stream to show you guys what you guys are really about. Working on that album. Where are you?
Album is in the can. It is complete. Nice. It is done. We are just ready for the perfect time when all this, it all opens up, so we could go back out there. We want to. It's all about timing, really. We release this album, and we want to go out and support it as well. So that's the goal. But nope, album's in the can. Got the artwork done. Got it all set up. We're just ready to go play some shows.
Oh man, that's got to be exciting, huh? To have it there, but you can't yet unleash it.
Yeah, man. It's all this pent energy ready to go. But and we're gonna have a press release coming out soon for the Bring It Back music video that we're working on. That'll be the next thing for the Bring It Back music video for sure. Yeah.
Now with Rise Up, you had a friend of yours do the music video, I believe. Yeah, and it was phenomenal. I mean, did a fantastic job. You would think it was an actual professional production, and
that was just great. Thank you, man. That was his first music video he's ever done. And he didn't film the one for Bring It Back, but we're still going to have him working with us and our little team for future projects and videos for sure.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Now you got the opportunity of a lifetime. All of us dream about it. To sing with Sammy Hagar at
Yes,
the
yes.
Cabo Wabo. I mean,
Oh
you know,
man.
my bucket list here, there's a couple things. You know, I want to do the Monsters of Rock cruise for sure.
Right.
I've always wanted to do a cruise. And, you know, going to the Cabo Wabo has to be an amazing thing in itself. Getting to sing with Sammy, being a huge Sammy Hagar fan. Tell me about that.
Right. You know, my folks and I, we booked the trip to Cabo back in 2019, you know, because I was turning 18 and we were going to go for the birthday bash, you know, expecting that everything was going to be normal. So, you know, when I found out a few months before going to Cabo in October that it got canceled, the birthday bash, you know, it was a little, I kind of expected it, but I was still going to Cabo for the first time. And that was just amazing. And, you know, I heard when that Sammy's tour manager or one of his manager guys got in contact with me and we were just chatting, you know, just friendly banter and stuff. And I asked him, you know, if you're going to be in Cabo, could I meet you? And he said, oh yeah, of course. So, and that was just cool, you know, that was just great. You know, I got to go to the Cabo Wabo the first night, got to meet some Red Voodoo fans that were really cool, you know, because all the redheads come down for the birthday bash, of course, if Sammy's going to be there or not, you know. They're the most dedicated fans in the world. And it was great, man. You know, I met Ken, that was his name, and we just talked and chatted and just had a beautiful time in Cabo. It was my first time in Cabo. And the very last day, you know, October 13th, it was Sammy's birthday. And I get a text and it says, get at the Cabo Wabo at 1:00. Shh, you know, the little you know, and this is my last day there. And I get there and the security guard greets me in and says hi and shows me and my family and, you know, the group that I had with me to this table. And I'm sitting there, man, and all I see is just an acoustic guitar and a stool, right? And I'm going, wow, like, is this really happening? You know, like, this is my very first concert, my hero, you know. Sammy walks down the stairs and he he puts on his guitar, sits in the chair. He looks, you know, he goes like this with his glasses. And he says, Dino from Red Voodoo's in the house. And I was like, is this really happening? He goes and plays the song Red Voodoo. And he plays an amazing set, you know, tells some stories, how he's doing. And he invites me up. He goes, Dino, how about you come up here and do a couple songs? And in my head, I'm like, oh, you can't say no. You got to do this, man. Go do it right now. And go up there.
Shaking like a leaf, I'm sure. You had to be a little bit nervous, right?
Oh, man, I was nervous the whole time. I'll tell you, this wasn't rehearsed or nothing, you know. I didn't know until an hour before. I thought I was just going to have a front row seat watching the show. I didn't know if he would actually invite me up to play. And we go up there, and I asked him, I say, hey, if we please sing Finish What You Started? And that wasn't on his set list. And he said, of course. So he played Finish What You Started. And I was like, you know, I'm bowing down to the master. I'm about to walk off stage. He goes, no. You know this one. And he starts playing Eagles Fly. And we play Eagles Fly together. And during the chorus, I'm like, all right, I'm going to hit this harmony with Sammy. Let's see if I can do this. And I hit it, and it worked, and it was great. And I think I have it here. Let me grab this real fast.
Okay.
Before I get off the stage, he goes, hey, you know, I don't got anything to give you. Oh, wait, here. And he grabs something. Let's see this. So he calls this the torch. He gave me a bottle of his Santo Tequila Blanco. And
wow, look at that. That's beautiful, too.
And I was so nervous, man. I drank it all. No. And that was real special. You know, I call that, you know, it's like a token. I don't even think of it as a tequila. And, you know, that kind of spurred off, you know, he finally met me, knew who Red Voodoo was. And then now, you know, this is the coolest thing ever. You know, after that, we decided, all right, you know, Christmas already passed, but we decided to do this Rock and Roll Christmas, which was a parody on his 1970s set Rock and Roll Weekend. And he gave us his full blessing for whatever you want to do with Red Voodoo. So that is just to get endorsed by all of the hero, you know, the guy, it's just mind blowing. Yeah,
it really is. It really is. And again, like Frank, Sammy's a great guy. You know,
Oh yeah.
he's just so much fun. And I think that's a lot. You know, of course, the music, he's phenomenal, but you know, just a sweet guy to be around. You know, he's
Oh,
a
oh
fun
yeah.
guy. He loves what he does. It's obvious. His show is amazing. You know, he's just so much fun. Um, I was told that you have, oh, maybe a little something special in the works, maybe with Sammy. Is there any kind of thing you can tell us?
Well, no, I cannot.
but,
Jurisdiction. Can't
but
do that.
but we
But I
can
will say
stay
this. I
tuned.
will say this is that you know, during this time in COVID, you know, we've during this lockdown or whatever, we've gotten very thankful for all this time to write our album and to make connections with certain people that are going to help us when everything's open back up. We're out on the road, and you know, it's all about, you know, the who you know aspect, and just forming those, you know, friendships and connections that will get you somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And we're looking forward to the future you have coming. It's going to
Of
be great,
course.
man. Um, are there any new, and you know, I mean, you got Zeppelin there in the background, and then you know, you're just really into the Sammy stuff and the Van Halen and all that classic stuff, and you guys
Right.
are bringing it back
Yes.
to the
Thank
new
you.
generation. You know,
Right. That's
uh,
the goal.
that's what it's all about for you guys. And but you're still young, and you still have friends who are into other things. Are you into any newer bands?
Newer bands.
Do you live in that 70s, 80s, 90s period?
You know,
Or
that's usually what I listen to. But, you know, I have some bands like you know, like Three Doors Down and Evanescence and you know, the Black Keys. Big fan of the Black Keys. And plus all the newer rock bands like Dirty Honey and Greta Van Fleet. Love those guys.
yeah,
Hopefully one day I could go on the road with them. That would just be the dream.
yep,
And yeah, you know, just some new stuff like that. You know, dabble in some Daughtry and Nickelback, and you know,
yep,
just all kind of different stuff across the board. I'm a country guy. I like country music, so you
yep,
know, I
cool,
also like Brooks and Dunn, Alan Jackson, Toby Keith. You know, I could Willie Nelson. I could go on.
awesome, awesome. So yeah, I mean that rounds out. Does that help with your writing when you're writing stuff? Do you tend to have some leanings towards those things? You know, is there any songs that on this new album that have maybe a little country flavor to them?
You know, I would say our ballad, our ballad that we're gonna have on the album is a little bit of a, you know, it could cross over from rock or, you know, I would say country, you know, and it's just a great little heartbreak song called Morgan Lane. And yeah, you know, and you could really see it, you know, when I wrote that song too, you know, one of my big country, I guess, inspirations is Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
And I really tuned into his lyric and his songwriting when writing that one for the album.
Cool, cool. What was the writing process for the album? Now, I know you do a lot of the writing. Did you do all of the writing, or was it a group collaboration for you
No, it
guys?
is always a group collaboration with Red Voodoo for sure. You know, I mean, we all have our parts. You know, I write the lyrics and the melody, and Dave with his guitar, and you know, Drew bass, Nick drums. But you know, we just all sit in a room and have an idea and work on that idea together. Then Frank will pop into the studio and kind of listen to it, sit there. You know, if there's something little that we need to fix or he hears something, he'll let us know and we'll try it. And it takes, man, I'll say about 2 weeks to really get the song dialed. You know, the one thing that we've learned as a band from Frank when it comes to writing a song, and that you'll see on this album, is that every single song on this debut album means something. You know, each part, each little part, there's no filler part, you know, that
Right.
wasn't really thought about. And that's the same when you look at all of Tesla's catalog too. You know, every single part of their songs, there's always a part in it that means something to the song.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Now, did Frank have any hand in writing? I know he's producing it for you and he's
Yes.
giving you pointers. Did he write anything with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, there's little parts that he's thought of, just like tiny little transitions or something that he's kind of heard. Um, but you know, it's a for sure a collaborative effort, of course. And you know, we did most of the writing. Then he'll come in and maybe we'll work on a certain part together of a song, like a bridge, making that stronger. But I think the song that he wrote really the most was that very first song, "Rise Up," very Tesla inspired kind of song. You could hear it. And after that, we were like, man, we like all these 80s bands of Van Halen. Let us show you what we got, too. And it was really cool. It's this collaborative effort that we have going on. But Frank's probably the biggest help. And, we are so thankful to be working with him and everything he's done for us.
Yeah, that's just awesome. Now bring it back when you listen to that song. It's got a real Sammy flavor. It's
man.
It's totally cool. Now, but on the other hand, do you ever fear that you might be a little too close to Sammy? That you want to be Red Voodoo and you want to have your original sound. Is that ever a concern for you?
I don't think so. When you listen to this full album, the cool thing about us is that we're not straight copycats. When you listen to the full album, not every song has that Van Halen, Sammy Hagar inspired style, but we want to pay homage to it, of course, because that's what, of course, people like, the nostalgia. And it's just kind of like, you look at Greta, they get shit, but look where they're at. You can't deny it, right? And so and I think about it too, the generation of my age, when I tell them who's Sammy Hagar, they go, huh? They don't know.
Right.
So, and it's not really copycatting. We're just trying to pay homage to it, and I think it's working. So for sure, but we're still us, and like what Ozzy Osbourne said, man, if you ever heard this, he goes, every single song is pretty much the same, just different configurations of it,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, there's a lot of truth to that for sure.
Rock and roll only has so many, so many chords.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it comes from the heart. I think when I could see that in that stream, that Monsters of Rock stream. You guys are up there, you're pouring it out, man. It's coming from here.
Yeah, man, it really is for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. And you were with one of my favorite people in the world, a great friend of mine, Britt Lighty.
Yeah, she was really cool.
She is
the first time.
Man, she is the greatest person. One of my favorite people that walk the earth for sure.
That's awesome. He's very cool. Very cool.
Has Frank told you about any story? Have you read this yet?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna copy of that yet. No.
Okay.
My hands on one of those.
Yeah, man. You should. Frank's in the book a lot, of course. There's a lot of pitfalls to the business, the lifestyle. Right. Has Frank talked about, because you guys are very young, you got your whole life ahead of you, you got a lot of choices to make. As somebody that's more established, older guys, things are more progressed. You guys are just starting out. Right. Has he talked to you in a mentoring way about any of that kind of stuff, the pitfalls?
Yeah, he has, learning from, some mistakes he's made. Like, a big one for me is that he's talked about is, some interviewers, not necessarily you, but bigger scale people get the gotcha moments, trying to get what's out of them and stuff, of course. Yeah. And sometimes they go too personal, but just, and a lot of just the business side of things, I had no idea, when we were playing cover band shows, it was kind of like, all right, you go, you play the show, you collect your payment, and you leave. And then you come back a couple months later to do it again. But now that I would say that I guess we're in another league now, we're in a bigger league, I would say that there's a lot more business going on. It's a music business, and that's a huge thing that he's taught us, and something that we're all learning of how to kind of have a business mind as well as a creative mind.
Yeah, that's great because, guys, so many guys back, especially back in the day and over the course of, the history of music, people your age, bands got taken advantage of. They didn't know that, they were doing what they love to do, and they didn't really give it too much thought. So to have that, that mindset going into this is really going to help you out.
Right. And that's something, that we're kind of, right now, we're looking at management companies and different stuff like that right now. But that's a good point. It's the main thing Frank brought up is he doesn't want us getting taken advantage of. He wants someone that, could take care of us just like, he's, like he has. So.
Right. Yeah. And, a lot of people your age don't know about publishing rights and all that kind of stuff. They just want to play music.
Right, exactly.
And you don't want to take away from that either.
No.
There's a business side, but you guys, we want you to do what you love to do and be happy doing it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to have that guidance is priceless. Really.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool. What's your favorite Sammy record? What do you like to sing?
Favorite Sammy record, I'll probably say 5150. With Van Halen, you talking about Sammy solo or Van Halen?
Yeah, whatever Sammy's done.
Okay. Yeah, 5150. I would say it would probably be my top for sure.
That's cool. But you go all the way back, don't you? I mean, yeah, you guys are well versed. Did you have to get everybody on board? Were you guys all Sammy fans? Or
we were all Van Halen fans. I would say we're all Van Halen fans, but we all had this kind of love for Sammy. I don't think Drew knew much about Sammy, but he digged in with it. Because we played other stuff. REO Speedwagon, Bad Company, Y&T. We played other bands too, other than Sammy when we did our covers.
Yeah,
but it's cool, man. It's like some of the songs that we have written for the first album. We all sat there and we were like, man, it's kind of a love child between Heaven by Warrant and Eagles Fly. And, we were like, some of the songs we've written is kind of cool how you kind of make connections to the songs we played during our cover days for our originals.
Yeah. And it's great to see you doing originals. It's and that too is difficult, for younger people. You don't have as much as experience, life experiences and things like that. So to be able to write your own original material and
right. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Own your craft. It's pretty great.
We have about 9 songs for the first debut album, and I think we have 6 or 7 already for the second. So we've been writing machines. I'll tell you, we'll be writing machines.
That is cool, man. That is cool. What do you do away from music when you're not recording and you're playing? What do you like to do?
What I like to do when I'm not doing music, I'm a big nature guy, So I love camping. I love going camping, going to the, outdoors and the beaches. And I love the coast. The coast is a huge, going to the Bay Area.
Man, I'd love to be on the coast right now, man. I'm looking out my window here. I got 6 inches of snow sitting on top of my fence.
That is great, man. That is so cool. Yeah, no, that's great.
I'd give it up for a little bit of sun and sand, no?
Oh yeah, just fly down to Cabo in October.
That would be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool. It's on the list.
Yeah, and I'm also a swimmer too. Like doing competitive swimming and that kind of deal. Cool. And it's a great way to swimming to get your mind off of things, and it's kind of where I do my writing for lyrics while I'm swimming, or even when I'm driving, whichever one. So.
Now, I mean, what inspires that lyric writing? Is it like the swimming itself, or the nature, the driving at the coast? What inspires your lyrics when you're writing?
If I this is what Frank kind of said about Jeff Keith, and it really resonated with me, and I really thought about it. I was like, yeah, and I think Sammy mentioned it once or twice too. But if you don't sing what you feel, then when you sing it, then it won't resonate with others. It won't hit with other people if you don't believe what you're singing. And Bring It Back, of course, great example of it. That was the first song that we ever wrote as a band, and that was our very first original, not Rise Up. And we wrote that before we met Frank, that song. And
Bring It Back.
Bring It Back, yeah. And David and I sat in a room, and you started playing the riff, and I went, today's music ain't got no soul, and this really just felt what I was singing, and I think it really shows for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's what you guys are all about. When I hear Red Voodoo and I see you guys, you are just, I mean, you're right in that group of the Greta Van Fleets and the Dirty
Honey.
Man,
That's killer.
Man, we need that so bad. And I love all kinds of music. I do. I like all that stuff that's out. But I grew up with what you're playing. Mm-hmm. I don't see it around anymore. I think
it's coming back though, man.
It is.
Sure. It is. Between Dirty Honey, Rival Sons, Greta Van Fleet, the Struts, you know, us, JT, Wolfie Van Halen, of course. He just came out with his, of course, amazing tribute to his father. And he's one of the people that we would love just to meet and just go on tour with one day, you know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be really cool for sure.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, I won't take up all your whole day, and I appreciate your time and I respect
of course.
You're young, you got a music career about to happen for you. Doesn't happen for everybody. Is there a plan B?
Is there a plan B?
You know, you got a long way to go here, you know.
I haven't had much time for a plan B, and I just kind of say, you know, in my head, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You know, you just keep saying that, you manifest, you know, something that you really want. And I think honestly, man, after playing with Sammy and doing the Monsters of Rock Cruise thing, I just thought to myself, you know, for anybody, nothing's impossible, really. You know,
man, and you guys got an amazing shot. I asked Austin Austin Moe, I asked if he had a plan B, and he said nope. And I was like, you know, that's a great thing to hear. It's scary at the same time.
Right. Oh, it's super scary, man.
It is, you know, but you guys are all in, you know, all the chips are in. You guys are giving it everything you got, and it shows. It really shows.
Yeah. So. Thank you for your support, man. Thank you so much for the interview, and cool dude. For sure, man.
Yeah, we'll hook up again, and you know, when the album comes out, and you know, we get to tour. I can't wait for you guys. You know, I'm in the Chicago area, so make sure you come and see me. And
for sure.
Yeah, and I'm a photographer as well. So when you come and you play, and you know, I'll shoot the show, and maybe we can get some images, and you know, hang out, man. I look forward to hanging with you, bud.
Cool. Yeah. Scott, right?
Yep.
Cool, Scott. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Yeah.
Let's do this thing. So yeah, when there's no actual date for the new album. When things start opening up.
Things start opening, you know, I will say, man, probably spring, summer for sure.
Okay.
You'll have it by then for sure. But did I tell you that before I go, the album name is Bring It Back. That is the album title.
All right.
Back. So our title track will be Bring It Back, the song. And got some cool artwork, and it's going to be I'm really hoping, man, it's going to be a cool album for sure.
Definitely. And there'll be a link when that video comes out to Bring It Back.
Yes. Yep.
And Bring It Back. That should be the name of the album. That's what you guys are doing. And we appreciate you, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, man.
Awesome. All right, man. Take care.
All right. Take care.
To you soon, Dino.
Enjoy the weather.
All right. You too.
All right. See ya. Bye.